Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Always a pleasure to be here. Wings have been the theme, at least of sorts, in the last few reviews that I've done. Popeyes, in one of my most recent reviews, came out with some wings I believe that were specially marketed for football season. KFC, not far behind, and they recently have premiered new wings that they again say are going to be on their menu for a limited time, mostly, as I have seen with the promotions, very heavily geared again toward football. They're saying, okay, you can enjoy these while you're watching the big game and all that sort of stuff. Not that that's mandatory. It's not like you have to be watching professional football just to get these wings. You could be doing anything that you want. I guess that's just what's suggested, but it is not a requirement. That does need to be explicitly mentioned. Nonetheless, KFC has premiered their new hot and spicy wings. I don't know if it's just me. The title of the wings, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but it seems a little redundant. They're hot and spicy. So I don't know if the emphasis then is supposed to be on the fact that they would be burning hot to the touch. In that case, I'm not going to be in for a good time. And spicy as well, or if this is just supposed to really accentuate and emphasize the heat upon which these wings may contain. So time will tell. Maybe I should get some oven mitts or something before I actually, go into this, just to play it safe, but we'll see. Right now I think I'm just going to be a daredevil, because I am. So I think I'm just going to go in there with my bare hands, and whatever happens, happens. But obviously, if my fingers fall off or something, it's for the review. So it'll be worth it in the end. Now, nonetheless, the description of these is actually pretty limited. Here's all that they have to say about them formally. They say, these are the new hot and spicy wings. They come with their signature spicy blend as a dry rub, so it is actually on the chicken and it's baked in. There is no sauce on these. It's again targeted for football fans, and you could get them as an 8-piece for the price of $6. And that's all that there is to them. That's it. Hot and spicy. So essentially, this is going to be a quick review. Yeah, now watch, it's going to be 20 minutes long, but nonetheless, I hope for it to be a quick review, because I really don't think there's all that much that will be to discuss about this. I'm already pretty much ready to try them. We'll see how good or bad they are, and then that'll be that. They come in this box with the kernel right there. What does the Colonel have to say? What are his words of wisdom? Enjoy my freshly prepared food, then, hey, free box. Yeah, that's the way you do it. All right, let's see what we have. There they are. They're all in there. They seem to be taking it easy. Just kinda, guess you could say they're in repose. I can't help but find that funny. You never hear that in reference to wings. There they are, though. Looks like a good mix of the drumsticks and the flat wings. Let's get this one. Hold it up. Very crispy. They are quite crispy, may I say. Well breaded. I could actually smell over the box a little bit of the spice. Sometimes you could get that with certain spicy items. They have that sort of spicy scent. This is no exception. And with that said, you know what they look like. You know their life story. You know these poor wings inside and out. You know their deepest, darkest secrets. And being that we know everything that there is to know about them, now it's time to try them out. The hot and spicy wings from KFC, they're going in. I know these are probably the most bites you've ever seen someone take for one wing, but at least it's giving me a thorough flavor profile of this. I'll say that. I didn't know what else to say, so I decided just to act like I was all frustrated for no reason. No, the wings are totally fine, and I actually found them to be pretty enjoyable, if I may say so myself. KFC is one of those establishments that has I've said this before, but I believe it holds true. They have really improved over the years. Obviously, an iconic fried chicken establishment no matter what, but there were a couple times, a number of years ago, where their quality was slipping, and more I was having these subpar items and experiences from them. But they've turned things around, and 2023 has been, I will say, quite a good year for KFC, and I'm happy to say they are continuing the trend. Now, not that these are the best wings I've ever had in my life. Mind you, these are fairly inexpensive fast food wings. But for what they are, not bad. I think as you could obviously see, I know I was gnawing away at these things practically endlessly, but there's a good amount of meat to them. And I think that's easily discernible. It's not like you just have the bone and barely any sort of meat. It's not like, as some people will call certain wings, pigeon wings, or anything like that. There is plenty of meat on these, plenty of breading, and you get that crispy crunch on the outside. I'm sure you're able to hear that. But then on the inside, the meat itself is tender, it's juicy, flavorful as well. And I know I sometimes say this, I've said this in previous reviews, but it's true in this case, which is why I will say it again. You have a good juxtaposition between the crispy, I will get to the spice in a moment, the crispy exterior and the more tender interior. They've got the right balance of everything, and it combines quite nicely. And especially if you like those crispy, crunchy wings, then you're definitely going to be a fan of this. If you like the KFC extra crispy chicken, this is going to be right for you. Because it most certainly very heavy on the breading, very heavy on the crisp, but it's not as though this is one of those instances where they're just using that as an excuse, because you do see this likewise. Some establishments, I say, oh, it's going to be so crispy and this, that, and the other thing. You actually eat it, and what do you notice? 90% breading, no meat, and it's like, when you really look at it, you know what's going on. It's just an excuse to try to be cheap. This is not one of those instances, though, where there is plenty of meat there as well, and it tastes good for what it is. So we have the base concerned, or what am I even trying to say? We have the base all covered. I don't know where concerned came from, but anyway. Now for the spice. This spice, I would say, is most noticeable as an aftertaste. I don't know if the name would be the most accurate in the world. When you look at the name, I'm looking at it now, it says hot and spicy wings. Now, you could say what you want about the name. When I look at it, I think to myself, wow, they are really emphasizing here the spice. Hot and spicy. I would immediately think to myself, these are going to be an upper tier as far as spice is concerned with these wings. But that's not really the case. I would say the spice is best described as essentially like what you would get for a medium sort of wing. You bite in, you don't notice the spice immediately at all. Taking those bites, you're still not noticing it. After you just swallow it, in the back of your throat, the spice then materializes. And that's when you notice it. And the spice will then start to come up, and it will linger as an aftertaste. Don't get me wrong. It's a long-lived spice. I still have it in the back of my throat right now. I notice it at this point as I am enunciating here. You notice it. It's going to linger for a long time as a spicy aftertaste. But it's not one of those sorts of spices that, you take the bite and it hits you immediately and you feel it in your tongue, and then as you continue to chew, you feel it in your sinuses and all around your mouth, and it's all burning and everything. You don't notice that at all. You don't even notice the spice until you even swallow it, and then it manifests itself in the back of your mouth, your tongue, very back, I should say, as an aftertaste. A long-lived spicy aftertaste, though, may I add. As far, again, as the intensity of the spice is concerned, it's like a medium spice. If you have, of course, probably everyone has, but if you've had regular chicken wings from any sort of mainstream establishment, just the medium flavor, that's what this is comparable to. So when you see the name, oh, hot and spicy, you might think, oh yeah, this is going to be really, really hot. It's not. And I'm not even drinking this due to the spice. It has a little bit of mucus in the back of my throat, being honest. And the last thing I wanted to do is sit here for the next couple minutes trying to clear my throat. But anyway, you might notice like a little mucus in the back of your throat or whatever. Maybe if you're sensitive to spice, a little bit of a runny nose, but aftertaste, long-lived, long-lasting, not incredibly spicy, It's like a flavorful spice. I could see this building upon itself, too. The more you eat, maybe the more intense it will get, but all things considered, for what it is, still tastes good. Gives the impression that they'll be a little hotter than they really are, but all things considered, I think they're still decent, taste good, and a real spicy aftertaste. Sorry if I wasn't in focus perfectly at all. But nonetheless, that said, price-wise, they're alright for what they are, and out of 10 I am going to be rating the hot and spicy wings from KFC a 7.4 out of 10. Get them while the getting's good. They're totally fine for what they are. Taste good, spicy aftertaste. And that's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Until next time.